Today's my 1-year booktube anniversary, which means that we are going to be celebrating with a Q&A video. Today I will be answering all of your guys' questions. Hi guys, it's Samantha, and as I said in my intro, today is my 1-year anniversary on Booktube. Exactly 1 year ago today, on May 10th, I created my very first video. It is horribly awkward. I don't know why I'm so serious in that video. It's almost embarrassing. I was apparently a little bit nervous filming it, but it's still out there if you so desire to watch the awkwardness in that video. But it's been an amazing year. I am so glad that I joined Booktube and made a YouTube video. It has been amazing. I have met so many amazing people. The experiences have been great. I've read so many great books and been introduced to so many great books and authors I may never have heard of otherwise. And it's just been amazing, and I am so glad that I joined it. And I know it's cliche, but I just want to thank everybody out there because it's just been awesome. You guys are great for all of your comments and your support and all of it. It's been fantastic. And I just hit 5,000 subscribers this week, which is a great way and an amazing way to celebrate my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I never expected to get 100 subscribers, let alone 5,000 in 1 year. That is amazing. So thank you guys so much for all of your support and your kindness and your comments and everything, because you guys are all amazing and you make this such a wonderful and fun experience. And I am so glad that I joined YouTube and this Booktube community specifically. So in order to celebrate, I am going to be here answering some of your guys' questions that you asked me when I put out my announcement for my Q&A video. So let us get started. This may end up being split into 2 videos. We shall see. I'm going to keep an eye on the camera time, and if it looks like it's getting a little bit long, there may just be a second part, which will be up the day after this one, so look out for that. So let us get started on this Q&A video. The first few questions come from Ben over at Bangity Bangs, and the first question that he asked me is, your life depends on you getting a book or literature themed tattoo. What would you get and where would you go and why? Where would it go and why? I don't like needles. Well, I don't mind needles, but I don't like pain, so it might not ever happen. But if I did get a tattoo, it would probably be Elvish from Lord of the Rings, and I have no idea. It might be like the first line from The Road Goes Ever On song from The Hobbit, so it might be just The Road Goes Ever On in Elvish or something. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't really thought this out, but it would probably be something in Elvish. Yes, and Lord of the Rings related in general. The next question he asked me on Twitter is, if you had to pick one of Hagrid's creatures to raise as a pet, which would it be and why? Probably a hippogriff, because hippogriffs are awesome. I really liked Buckbeak in the books, and after you kind of get to know a hippogriff, they seem like they're nice, kind creatures. That or a unicorn, though I don't really know if Hagrid really raised a unicorn. Basically, just anything but a blast-ended scroot, but probably a hippogriff. Bree from Bree May asks on Twitter, what has been your favorite age to be so far, and the best thing that happened and the best thing you learned at that age? Bree from Bree May asks on Twitter, what has been your favorite age to be so far, and the best thing that happened and the best thing you learned at that age? That is an excellent question. Let's see how well my memory serves me. I'm gonna say 18. I'm gonna say 18 years old for a couple reasons. First, I still feel like I'm 18. I'm 27, but I feel like I'm 18. And that was the year that I started college, so I think that was the first year I really learned to kind of be more on my own and to think more for myself and have to make more decisions for myself. It was my first year really learning to become an independent young woman that my mom had always raised me to be, and I think that was the first year that I really was able to act upon what she had taught me my whole life, to be my own woman, to be independent and to think, and I think that was really the first year that that happened. The next question comes from Sarah at Sarah Sunbeams, and she asked, do you use Goodreads often, and what is one thing you would change about it? I do use Goodreads often. I like to log my reading on there and keep track of my books, and I also am part of some of Goodreads groups, and I've created a couple of Goodreads groups, so I definitely use it a lot, and I think it's a great tool. I think it can be improved upon, particularly the app, and if there was one thing I had to change, it would probably be the star system, like with everybody else. At least give us half stars, please. Give us half stars. And the next question comes from Brock from Let's Read. He says, you're the original creator of a lot of tag videos. How do you come up with so many themed questions, and how long does it take you to make a list of questions? Honestly, it usually happens while I'm at work, and it will come to me. I'm thinking, oh, I kind of want to create a tag. And then as the day goes on, I'll keep periodically thinking of questions, and then I'll write them down. It's kind of very spur of the moment. I don't sit down really and plot out the questions, but over a course of a day or two, I'll get the idea and then I'll just kind of think of questions throughout the day. Like, I'll just think about it and think, oh, that'd be a good question. How can I link this to this question? That kind of a thing. So that's basically my unscientific method of thinking of tag video questions. Tori De Libros asks, who was your favorite doctor and companion? That is so hard, but if I had to choose one doctor out of all of them, and I have watched all of them, including Classic Who, I'm still going to have to go with David Tennant, number 10. 10 will always be my favorite Doctor. I think that David Tennant did an excellent job of embodying all that the Doctor is, the dark side and the light side, and he was just perfect. As for my favorite companion, Donna, hands down, always will be. I love Donna. I love her. I love her. I want her to get her memories back and to come back to the show. I need Donna. I miss Donna. I love Donna. Danielle Shelley asks, have you ever read the I'm going to mispronounce this, so I'm really sorry. Mabinogion, or the 1001 Nights. I have not. I need to. I ran across an edition of 1001 Nights, but I haven't read it yet or bought it. It needs to happen. She also asks, have you done a fantasy recommendations video yet? I have. Actually, I've done 2, and I will link both of those down below. And she says, have you ever written a book? I think it would be interesting if you did. No, because sadly, I hate writing. I've always hated writing. No. Katie O'Shea asks, how do you balance reading and booktubing and working? I don't know. I kind of just do. In terms of filming, I tend to film every other weekend, and I film in bulk, so I'll film anywhere from 5 to 7, 8, 9 videos, depending upon the videos, so then I can skip the next weekend or sometimes 2 weeks. It just depends. So I like to film in bulk and get those done. And then I'll usually spend Saturday and sometimes Sunday editing that week's videos. Not always. Sometimes I'll come home and like edit that evening my top 5 Wednesday video, but it doesn't take me too long to edit my videos. Depending upon the video, it takes me anywhere from 10 minutes for like a top 5 Wednesday video to half an hour. The longest videos are usually my wrap-up videos, and those can take me an hour to 2 hours because I add all of the titles and things, so that can take a while. But I don't know, I just tend to read sometimes while I'm at work on my lunch, or I'll read right before bed, or while everybody else is watching TV, I'll be reading, and I just kind of fluctuate. I kind of go with the flow. Like last month I was kind of slumpy, so I didn't read as much, but I'll just kind of read whenever I have free time and edit whenever I have free time, usually on the weekends. And it just kind of works right now. Sometimes I get a little burnt out, which is why sometimes I'll go sometimes a week with not reading very much. But yeah, I just kind of go with the flow with it, I guess. Books for MKs asks, if you didn't know how old you are, what age would you think you are? I would say 18. I definitely do not feel like I'm 27. I feel like I'm 18. And sometimes when I think about my age and how old I am, it blows my mind because I can't believe how fast time has gone by and it seems crazy. Hey TJ asks, what is your favorite classic book? Right now, I would say Great Expectations and Jane Eyre. It's really hard for me to choose between the two. Love Jane Eyre, and then I recently read Great Expectations last year, and that's up there too. So I'm going to go with both of those books. Of Woodbridge and Hedgley asks, are your gestures reserved mostly for your videos, or do they spill out onto your offline character as well? They do. In fact, this is kind of how I am. I gesticulate a lot. I am very all over with my hands. I've always been that way, expressive with my hands. I've had people mention it at work. I don't even realize I'm doing it, but apparently I do, so now I'm like hyper aware of me doing it. But yeah, it definitely spills into my offline life as well. Anushka from 1,000 Lives asks, if you would jump into any fictional world, which one would it be and why? I've said this many times and it will never change. Middle-earth, hobbits, food, adventure, yes. But I would prefer it after Sauron was defeated so I don't get killed by black riders and orcs and goblins and things. Tabitha asks, have you ever played Candy Crush, and if so, are you addicted? I used to play Candy Crush, and yes, I was addicted. I haven't played it in almost a year though. I kind of fade in and out of games, so I'll probably actually go back to playing it again. It just has been a while, but yes, it's a very fun game. Pie in Books says, you are only allowed to download one social media app on your phone, and you have to choose between Instagram or Twitter. Which do you choose and why? That is sad. I love my Instagram because I like posting pictures and seeing people's pictures, but I'm going to have to go to Twitter because that is where I talk to most of the people on BookTube and YouTube in general, so gotta keep Twitter. Bookish Horse Girl asks, where do you want to travel to? Ireland. I love Ireland. If I ever get a chance to travel, that will be my first stop. I will go. I've also learned a lot more about my family history and a lot of where we hail from in Ireland. So yeah, that will happen. I will go and visit the places that I know our ancestors lived in, and it will be fantastic and amazing, and it will happen one day. It will. Badi Al-Hazim asks, what do you like to do first, read a novel or watch this movie, and why? I like to read the book first because I hate reading a book and having the actors in my head as the characters, because when I watch a movie and then I read the book, that's what's in my head. Like, I can't imagine the characters myself anymore. All I picture is the people from the movie. Micronoid asks, what was your favorite TV show as a kid? Rugrats. Rugrats was one of my favorite shows growing up. I even had like Rugrats overalls and Rugrats toys and things. Rugrats was fantastic. I love that show. Fun fact, the Rugrats creators were big Doctor Who fans. So apparently I was always meant to like Doctor Who. They based Tommy on the Doctor, which is why he always carried around a toy screwdriver. And if you look in the background of some of the episodes, you'll see little toy Daleks. Fun fact. He also asked, do you like anime or manga? I do. I haven't delved that much into it. Basically, the only anime and mangas that I have read were Cowboy Bebop. Love that show, and I like the 2 mangas of it that I read. Rachel Stewart asks, what is a book that you think almost everyone would love besides Harry Potter? Good question. I'm going to go with Theft of Swords and the Whole Riyari Revelation series by Michael J. Sullivan. It's a great, very accessible, easy to read fantasy series that, particularly after this book, it becomes incredibly amazing. And anybody I know that has read it so far, they have absolutely loved it. So I think that this series could become just as beloved as Harry Potter. She also asked, who are some of your favorite underrated booktubers? There are a lot. I am subscribed to so many amazing booktubers that I think are underrated. I will create a playlist and link it down below. Some of my favorites, so be sure to check them out and subscribe to all of them. But really, there are so many. You guys are all wonderful, and there are just so many amazing channels and videos. You guys are an awesome community. Ali9513 asks, do you like to write books as well or just to read? I just like to read. I'm not really the biggest fan of writing. I have a hard time writing, and my concentration goes, and I'm just not. It's not my thing. Lindsay Lynn asks, what have been some of your most memorable moments on BookTube? Gosh, what is it? Meeting all of the people that I have become friends with has been great. It's like Lindsay from Lindsay Ray, Sarah from Books of Junk Sana, Brock from Let's Read, Michael from Babe by Radioactive Book. Just so many people I have met and become friends with. I think has been the most memorable and wonderful thing for me. People I talk to every day, and it's been fantastic to just meet these people and become friends with them. It's been amazing. I would have to say that's one of my most memorable things from this past year. She also asked, what are 3 tips you would give to a new booktuber? I would say, be yourself. I know it sounds cliche, but it's so true. Just be yourself and let your own personality shine through. Give your opinion and don't care what people think. If you don't like a book, say it. If you loved a book and nobody else does, let them know, because everybody likes different things. And number 3 is just don't be afraid to put that video out there. If you have a great idea and you're not sure about it, and you just do it. I'm sure people will love it. They love to see different aspects of your personality. So those are 3 of my tips for people who maybe are looking to start a booktube channel. Sarah Night Owl asks, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? Vanilla. She also asked, what is your favorite coffee flavor? Well, I have 2. Just coffee. I like just plain coffee with a little bit of cream and sugar. And I also like this coffee from Dutch Brothers, which is a local coffee chain, and that is the double chocolate mocha. It is a mocha made with chocolate milk instead of milk, so it's steamed chocolate milk, a little bit of chocolate syrup and coffee, and it is the creamy deliciousness, and I love it to death. Admira Catherine, which I hope I said your channel name right, says, if you had to memorize a single book or risk its extinction, which book would you choose and why? I would choose The Hobbit, because I think that Tolkien created a book in a series that became very influential for all of the fantasy books we see today. And I also think that it is a great adventure story. It's just a wonderful, wonderful book, and it's very important to me. So that is the book I would choose and why I would memorize it. Android Conundrum asks, what do you look for in a good book? I look for a book that has good writing. Writing that doesn't really feel forced. It flows really well. It doesn't pull me out of the story. I look for great characters, great well-rounded, well-developed characters, and I look for an excellent world building. I'm reading a lot of fantasy, so I look for a world that is really fully developed and interesting, and a book that just has a lot of originality to it. That is what makes a good book for me. Paul from A Common Touch of Fantasy asks, do your family watch your videos? If they do, what do they think about them? They do watch them. They've actually always been very supportive about me starting my channel, because I wasn't sure if I was going to upload my first video a year ago, and they were like, like, no, do it, you'd be great. So they've been very, very supportive of it, and my mom and my dad watch all of my videos, though I cannot be in the room when they watch them because I get really, really self-conscious. So yes, they're very supportive of it. And you also have to talk to them about your booktubing adventures, and your sisters read a lot too. I do talk to them a lot about booktube and the things happening in it and the things I've seen and watched and stuff. And yes, my whole family are a bunch of readers. I grew up in a family of readers. I actually was the last one at the age of 9 to get into reading, because prior to that I really didn't like it. So I've always been around books. My whole family has been really big on books, and it's always been a big part of my life. Sarah I'll also ask a couple more questions. She says, if you could learn any languages, what language would you want to learn? I would love to learn Gaelic. Actually, I started to teach myself back in high school. I got like a books on tape thing, but I never ended up finishing it, but that's something that I'd be really interested in learning. I would also really like to learn French, because I think it sounds kind of pretty, the language. I do know some Spanish, so I took a couple years of Spanish in college, so if I had to choose 2 more languages, it would probably be French and Gaelic. The Book Fox says that she would like to know more about our doggies. How many dogs do we own? What are their breeds, names, personalities, etc. I would bring them in, but when they're all in one room, it gets a little crazy. But we have 3 dogs. We have an Australian Shepherd, Bailey, who is the youngest at 4 years old. She is the rambunctious one, hyper, but she can be the sweetest thing ever. She likes to cuddle. She's the first Aussie, because we've owned several that we've owned, that has not been raised around another Australian Shepherd, so she's picked up a lot of terrier characteristics, which is really interesting, but she's just hilarious. She's obsessed with lights and things, so she'll just sit in my room for hours when the sun is in here and watch the light reflects off surfaces and stuff. And she's just a hilarious dog, a lot of personality. Our oldest dog is Brenna. She is a West Highland Terrier. She is going to be 10, I think, 10 or 11 this year, but she is so sassy, that dog. She is so independent, but she can also be the sweetest thing ever. She likes to have her head pet a lot, and she can be really cuddly, but she's also super independent and very tenacious. She's also the ham of our fur children, so she is the one that if we're out on a walk that wants everybody to pet her, because she just sees it as free pets. So she's pretty hilarious. Everybody loves her when we have to take her anywhere, because she has a lot of personality. Riley is our Yorkshire Terrier. She is 6, I think. She's going to be 6, just turned 6. And she is our little tenacious tattletale. She sticks to my dad like glue, and if she sees the other 2 misbehaving, she'll bark and tattle on them. So I always call her my dad's little toady, because if he gets mad at one of the other 2, she's right there like kind of barking too, like, hey guys, don't do that. But she also has a lot of personality, but she's also super sweet. She'll just like come up and hug and rub all over you and like give you little kisses and nibbles and things, and she can be cuddly. She'll let you know when she wants to be held, but if you do hold her, she'll like sit in your arms and like cuddle with your neck and stuff. So those are our dogs. They're all very sweet, and you know, they're our best buddies. Don't know what we would do without them. Sarah Brown also asked if I have any advice about joining BookTube. Like I said earlier, I said just be yourself, put your video out there. It'll come with you in time. The more experience you get and the more you do it, the easier it will become. Just be true to yourself and have fun doing it, and engage with other people in the community on Twitter and commenting on their videos and things, and you'll get to know people, and it will be fantastic. Just jump in and do it, and you will love it. Jelly from Jelly Bean Langs on Twitter asks, what is your favorite book, video game, movie, weapon? Specific weapon, don't just say knife. I'm going to go with video game, and I'm going to go with the Master Sword in Zelda, because once you get the Master Sword, it is the most epic weapon ever. It's just awesome. It's particularly when you charge it up and then it has a beam of light go out everywhere, and you can like slay all of the enemies in a circle or cut all of the bushes in the area. It's fantastic, and it's always been one of my favorite weapons. Yes. Alright guys, that is the end of part 1. This video is getting a little bit long, so I will be having a part 2 Q&A video out, so be sure to check that out tomorrow. And yeah, thank you guys for all of the questions. So until tomorrow, where I answer more questions, happy reading. Bye!